Dan, welcome to the challenge. How are you doing?
I'm doing very well, John. How are you, my friend?
It's brilliant to have you here. Thanks a million for coming over to the channel. And everyone can obviously check out your amazing channel, FPL Mate, while they're chilling on YouTube. You had a great finish last season, so people should probably have a look at this team and give it some respect.
I can't say my finishes before last season were particularly good, but, you know, if you have kind of one season biases, I'm your guy. So, yeah, let's see what we can do.
You were about 250th or so, were you?
253rd in the end, which is just like once in a lifetime kind of season, isn't it, really? So, yeah, I'll try and repeat it, but it's just not going to happen. We'll do our best, though.
Yeah, well, 253rd in the world on the channel. Fair play to you. That's an outstanding finish. Like, that's ridiculous with the millions and millions of players there are these days.
Oh, wait, it was 243rd? I can't remember now. Yeah,
You'll take them. You'll take every position.
Well, wherever it was, somewhere in that region.
So today, we're going to build your team from the back to the front, your current draft, and then I suppose your final draft to be over on your channel if people want to see it. But do you want to tell me who your starting goalkeeper is?
Yes, I do. And I'll bring up my current draft, because, you know, I'm sure you're exactly the same. The draft is a constantly evolving beast. But we've got Raya in goal today.
You've Raya in goal, so you're going the budget route.
Yes, yeah, 4.5 million goalkeeper. I just kind of look at some of the 5.5s, obviously Alisson. A lot of people are going for Edison. You feel like with a player like Edison, I think he's averaged something like 3 bonus points per entire season over the last like 4-5 seasons. So it's just clean sheets you're getting from Edison. And hopefully with Raya, good fixtures, a couple of save points, could lead to a couple of bonus points, could almost compete over a decent fixture run with Edison. So happy to save $1 million there.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's whenever there's such a big at the back kind of strategy this year, I'd be interested to see how you go, where everyone's picking 3, 4, 5, normally 4 or 5 defenders. And then there are those midfielders we want. You probably want a premium forward out of Haaland or Kane. You need to find the money somewhere. And I think goalkeeper's a nice place. Who's your second option? Who's your sub?
We've got Olsen at Aston Villa. Had a pretty decent pre-season. I didn't rate Martinez that much last season, so I'm kind of thinking, like, let's be honest, the 4 million goalkeepers are just a graveyard. But if there was one that could potentially usurp the primary goalkeeper without there having to be an injury, I feel like it maybe is Olsen.
Good a pick as any there. He has got some expected points, so maybe he's expected to get some sort of minutes. The defenders are probably a little bit more exciting than the goalkeepers, but ultimately I'd say there's 1 or 2 here that are non-negotiable in your team. Who's the most nailed?
Yeah, should we just get Trent out the way? He's in everyone's team anyway.
That's what I was angling at. I was kind of being like, just tell me him. Just do this. Yeah. I mean, anything interesting? Any reason why? Or is it just that he's Trent and every reason everyone's already heard?
Yeah. I don't think it's worth boring the audience with more Trent propaganda. We all know it by now.
The question I'll ask you then is a team without Trent viable, or is it just stupid? Like,
I think it is viable.
It's just a bit stupid, though, because, like, you're giving up such good point potential for such a low price. Like, it's definitely not optimal, I suppose, is what I'm trying to say.
I think you can do it. Like, if you, like, had Robertson instead, like, it is obviously a downgrade, but I think you could probably get away with it. But why get away with it when you can just get the best?
Yeah, exactly. Okay, yeah. Trent's in.
Yeah.
Who's the second defender?
Oh, well, it's Robertson.
Okay.
So, a nice little segue there for you.
Yeah. So why select between the two when you can have them both? I think they're both in my current draft. I just love them.
Definitely. Robertson, a huge part of the second half of the season for me. Had him pretty much the whole of the second half of last season. I think he was actually the highest scoring player per game from game week 19 last season. So per match played, he had the highest points, which is quite like maybe that's just among defenders, but it was something crazy. It was like an average of 6.5, 7 points per game on average when starting, which is just crazy points. Did he far more than Alexander-Arnold actually?
He massively. I think if I remember correctly, did he overperform his expected points and Trent underperformed substantially?
He did, yeah. That is what happened in fairness, but there is like historical data to suggest that Robertson always overperforms his data. So it's kind of like similar with Son. You look at their expected goals, their expected assists, but you think they're going to exceed it anyway. So I think there is a bit of that with Robertson.
Who's your third slot?
currently on Diaz at City.
Okay, this is different.
Yeah.
This is a little bit different. Talk to me
Yeah.
about Diaz and why you've went there.
Well, I mean, I can speak about Diaz or I can speak out why no Cancelo, which I think is probably the more pressing question. It's controversial, but I just feel like Cancelo potentially shifting to the right-hand side where kind of has got less FPL points typically when he plays on the right-hand side of a four-man defence, because he's not cutting in on his inside foot to shoot as much and create chances on the inside, maybe more reliant on his right foot to go a bit wider potentially rather than coming on the inside when he's playing on the right. And even if Man City don't sign a new left back and Cancelo is to play on the left, we've got Kyle Walker at 2 million cheaper, who isn't, nowhere near Cancelo, but for 2 million less, maybe you can cover it a little bit. So I just think there will be a little bit more rotation than last season. I can't quantify that too much, but yeah, I just don't think Cancelo will have as good this season as he did last season, and I'm willing to put my neck on the line with that opinion.
But that is it. This is a bit more of a gut feel maybe than necessarily like a data driven one.
Yeah.
Well, you did mention maybe when he plays in the right, not as well, but there's a lot of speculation, and I appreciate that because I think what a lot of us get caught in, myself included, in preseason is going by EO and ownerships and being scared and like feeling like, well, they're getting the FOMO. I can't go without Cancelo, but you're putting your balls on the line here, going like, do you know what it is? I don't think he's going to do incredible. I think Diaz is a good shout, saving a million and fair
I
play.
think Diaz
and what you're
can
kind of
almost cover the points.
Yeah, the Diaz will hedge against the clean sheets, and what you're kind of banking on is that Cancelo doesn't score goals and get assists. Do you know
Pretty
if he
much,
scores 3 goals and 2 assists in the first 6 games, you're probably in the mud a bit. But
yeah,
if he isn't getting on the score sheet or making goals happen, he's probably going to match Diaz's score, and you've saved a mill. So best of luck with it. I respect the decision, I really do. I love seeing something a bit different there. I was expecting you to go Cancelo, Reece James, Who's next?
Next, I've got Kieran Trippier.
Okay, this is different. Dan,
yeah,
I
I don't look at EO at all. I think there's one player in my entire team that is EO driven. I am not afraid to be different at all with my FPL.
That shirt says it all.
yeah. And a modern day eccentric. Maybe not, but we'll see.
Trippier looked really good before he got injured, and now he's back for his first game. Talk to me.
Yeah, a couple of assists, I think, in pre-season as well. Newcastle second half of last season, defensive monsters. He did very well when he was fit and firing. I think, the only other right back you'd say that has any chance of starting for Newcastle is maybe Emil Kraft. Trippier is obviously you would say a superior player. So nailed on, like the first 2 fixtures, Nottingham Forest, Brighton and Hove Albion. And then I like that price point as well because I'm kind of keeping an eye on Zinchenko at Arsenal and maybe some of the 4.5s, some of the other 5. So very willing to maybe take Trippier out in game week 3 if another opportunity presents itself as well.
No, I like it. I really like the shout, and it's a bit different again. Diaz and Trippier are definitely straying from the norm here. Is your 5th slot going to be playing, or is it a sub?
It is a sub. We're gone for the standard 4 million sub. I don't need to tell you who that is for you to pop that one in. Here he goes.
Nico Williams. And he goes. Have you been tempted by anyone else? I looked at them and I kind of did a predictions video the other day. You want to pick a few hero shouts. So I actually, whenever Patterson at Everton got his couple of assists, I think it was against Blackpool in pre-season, I was like, you know what? Maybe Forest are going to be a bit more defensively frail. Maybe Nico Williams, while he could play a bit further up the pitch. I don't know, maybe. So I went Patterson for my enabler pick of the year. Now, I'll probably still start with Nico Williams in my team. But is Patterson or any of those other 4 millions even tickled your fancy at any stage? Or has it just been Nico?
Yeah, Patterson's on the radar for sure. He seems like one of those players who, if it wasn't for that opening Chelsea fixture, maybe his ownership would be a little bit higher. But even though he's going to be a bench option, people just look at these things, don't they? But yeah, no, Patterson it would be second choice. I just feel like with Patterson, when Coleman returns from injury, maybe Patterson is kind of rotated a little bit more, whereas Nico is more of a player who will probably play for the whole season.
Yeah, and I think that's why Nico is the choice. He just is the choice. He's going to guarantee you 1 or 2 points, really. That's a nice back line, and it's as different a back line as we've seen in a few episodes of the My Team series. And if anyone wants to give their team rating a shout and go over and give it a crack, click the link in the description, over to the toolbox and give it a go. You can have a look at your predicted points for game week 1. You don't even need to sign up to do that, I believe. So head over and give that a go. We'll move on to midfield. Will we get the boring one out of the way? I don't even know if he's in your team, but he is in your team, isn't he?
Yeah, stick him in. I think you've got to be crazy not to have Salah. Like, you can be as... Like, I feel like the only people who don't have Salah are, like... I wonder if they're doing it for attention.
They're
Like, I
trying to be
genuinely
cool.
think that. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
You know, like the classic
I think
joke
it's like
of how do you know a vegan is a vegan? Because they'll tell you they're a vegan. It's the same with
Yeah, it's like
non-Salah owners.
CrossFitters.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and CrossFitters as well.
So CrossFitters, vegans, and Salah owners, they're all in the
Yes.
same bucket. Yeah.
Non-Salah owners, yeah.
It's like a cry for help, isn't it? Yeah, non-Salah owners. It's like a
Yeah.
cry for help. I'll be honest with you. I do think De Bruyne is going to absolutely smash it. I really, really, really think it. He scored the most goals he's ever scored in a Premier League season last year. He's already got a couple in pre-season. Pep's saying he's looking sharp. He is looking sharp. De Bruyne's going to come in. Couple of nice fixtures, more than a couple over the first 5 or 6 games. I really, 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 really can't emphasize how much I back him. I just don't have the balls to go no Salah. I don't have the balls for it. I want to have the balls. Please, someone give me the balls, but I don't have them. I just like, yeah, so Salah's in my draft, but you haven't considered Swain at any stage?
No, there's no point because you free up an extra million or whatever, and then you feel like you need that extra million all of a sudden. So I'm not going to downgrade Salah and give myself something to play with that I'm not going to end up with having to play with.
Fulham first game week. Lock captain, is he?
I think so. Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Is he the guy who you went with out of ownership, or is that to come?
That is to come. I would be going with Salah, whether he was at 10% ownership or 99% ownership. It's just such a lock.
Yeah, perfect. Well, look, we'll move on from him. Who is the next guy in your midfield?
Okay, we got Saka at Arsenal.
Saka. Okay, you've went for the 8 million. A lot of people going for Martinelli.
Yeah, I have. I've had Martinelli probably in most of my drafts, but today we're on Saka.
All right. So Saka, talk to me. Do you think he gets penalties? He is going to be nailed, and you like Arsenal's fixtures, I assume.
I do like them a lot. I like that Leicester one. I like that Bournemouth one. I like the was it Nottingham Forest after that as well, or is it Fulham? You'll be able to tell
I've got Fulham here, so it goes Leicester,
Fulham.
Bournemouth, Fulham, Villa.
Yeah, I like
Palace
2 to
even
4.
opening day.
It's nice, yeah. So I just think Saka looking good in pre-season. He could be on penalties. I think if I had to guess, I'd probably say he's still on penalties, but obviously we can't know for sure. And he's locked. He's nailed on in that Arsenal team, which is something you don't quite get with Martinelli. Arsenal's still looking to sign another winger. Smith Rowe is going to get some minutes, probably not very many compared to Martinelli, but I do like Martinelli, but Saka seems safer.
Yeah, okay, I like it. That 2 million is a lot, but I suppose to get a guy guaranteed to start, I'll be interested, and don't spoil it yet, I'd be interested if you've also got Jesus in here, because he would be my choice if I had 8 million to spend on Arsenal. But I'd be interested to see it. Who's your third midfielder?
I suppose that would be young Jackie Grealish.
Ooh, I like this pick.
Bit of a differential, although I think he is gaining a little bit of popularity among the community at the moment, isn't he?
Yeah, he's done well in pre-season, hasn't he? And everyone's sort of projecting that he's going to get more minutes than last year based on historic data around City and Pep and Sterling out the door, Jesus out the door. I think people are starting to lean into Jack Grealish. And I think a lot of people like him for his antics off the pitch.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Absolutely. Yeah, and there's this whole thing of Man City players under Pep. Typically, first season is a slow one or more of a temperate one. And then the second season is when they push on to greater things. And, Grealish was signed for a lot of money. City are kind of lacking in the left wing department. Maybe you say Foden plays there, but there's talks of Foden shifting onto the right-hand side of midfield, of the wingers, I guess. Grealish could be the main man at left wing, and you get him for 7 million. Not bad.
Yeah, like if any of that, if him, Mahrez, or Foden become as nailed as a De Bruyne or a Diaz or an Ederson, or a Cancelo, if we get like a nailed forward asset, the prices are all amazing. So I've no doubt that at some stage this season, everyone's going to have a Man City midfielder, and they will be a template. Like it is going to happen. It's just about working out who that's going to be, and it's hard pre-season.
Yeah. Stuff is suggesting Grealish is going to be the best Man City midfielder to go with, in my opinion, from everything I've read and researched. Let's see how it actually plays out, because with Pep, you never fully know.
On to the fourth midfielder. Who have we got?
Fourth midfielder is young Mr. Pedro Neto, who I think is just I think he's such a good player. I really rate him so much. Every time I watch him, it's just like, you're just so good at footy.
Yeah, he looks destined for bigger things. I think that injury really set him back, but back in now, a couple of really nice fixtures to kick it off, Leeds and then Fulham at home. Neto, he just looks beautiful, doesn't isn't he?
Yeah, you'd say that, when you look at Wolves' opening, 5-6 fixtures, they look quite good for an attacker, I would say. Like, there's a lot of fixtures there that favour attackers. Leeds there, Fulham, Bournemouth, Southampton in 6 as well. Which attacker are you going to go for? Jimenez, even if he wasn't injured, we're probably not quite trusting him after last season. Podence is a minute's risk, but we know Neto, when fit, is probably one of the first names on the team sheet, is recognised as Wolves' best attacking player. And you can get him for 5.5 million. A talisman in a mid-table team with great fixtures for 5.5 million. It seems a little bit of a no-brainer. And what a pre-season he's having as well.
Yeah, he's been scoring and getting assists, and he's playing very, very advanced up the pitch for midfielder. So yeah, I think like Neto is one who is in my team as it stands. I keep trying to resist the template. I keep trying to be more creative, but ultimately the template's a template for a reason, and sometimes you just need to take that.
Absolutely.
Who's your fifth mid?
We've just got the very standard 4.5. Again, you don't need me to spell this one out for you. In he goes.
Did I get it? Yeah.
Yeah.
In he pops. Andreas Pereira, had moments at United, but very disappointing all in all. Went to Flamengo. I don't think he particularly lit it up over there either.
He did quite well at Flamengo.
Did he? I thought he had like 15 games and only a couple of goals or something.
Because you're looking at the 2022 season, because the Brazilian Serie A is split into
the championship rounds and stuff.
Yeah, they have all different competitions, and their seasons are done January. Well, not quite, but January to December rather than September.
They're still playing.
So he signed. He played the second half of the 2021 season, and I think he scored something like 4 goals, 3 assists. I don't know, 15, 16, 17 games. And then I think people look at the 2022 season and saw, he only played 13 games and got 1 goal and 1 assist.
Yeah.
But actually, he played half of this, half of that, some other competitions. It's a weird over there. Don't even get me started.
Yeah, no, it's stuff I should really know. But the thing with Andreas is, regardless of his output, and we are hopeful that he'll have some goals and some assists, sure he will, he's a locked 2 points, you'd like to think.
Yeah, definitely. I've seen he's on set pieces in pre-season as well, which is interesting.
Oh, wow, okay. Well, that is huge, yeah. So maybe more assist potential there, and even just maybe, don't know what he's like at direct free kicks. But Andreas, he's locked at 4.5 in my team as well. I think, if I have a 5.5 slot and a 4.5 slot, Neto and Andreas, they're the guys I'm going for. But obviously, you know how tinkering goes.
Yeah.
So we'll move up to the forward line with 3 more players to pick. Let's keep your premium one. Let's do the boring ones first. So who's your cheap? Yeah. Go from cheapest to most expensive.
We've got a bench player of Plange.
Did he score a hat-trick or something?
Luke Plange. Yes, he did the other week. Scored a hat-trick. And yet he started a couple of games in the pre-season, but I'm not really counting that for too much. But, maybe some potential there, and who cares? He's a dead spot, 3rd on the bench.
Yeah, if he comes on and gets a goal, hunky-dory.
Yeah. And because he's like 1% owned, he's not going to drop down to 4.4 either, which I think Sam Greenwood probably will drop down to a 4.4 at one point.
All the casuals are going to get stung, but the people who are here watching content at this stage in the season, they won't get stung with the Greenwood unless they actually genuinely believe in him and he goes and scores lots of goals. But
absolutely,
Plange is in, doesn't need much explanation. Who is the next?
We got the FOMO pick next, which is Gabriel Jesus.
I keep going to say Jesus as well.
Yeah,
I've been given off to in the comments.
It's Brazilian, not Spanish, so it's Jesus.
Yeah,
not Jesus.
It's Jesus. Why is this guy saying Jesus? He thinks he's Jesus Navas. It's Jesus. These YouTubers have one job. I've seen it all, guys. Praise me for getting it right now. So Jesus, he's looked great. You excited for him?
I am. As an Arsenal fan, I'm very excited about him. He's tearing up pre-season and looks by far and large our best player and a focal point again, which is something I think is important in FPL, is that you want to pick focal points from each team. Nailed on, should score and assist, and hopefully make the players around him better as well, which is something that is not perhaps spoken about very often. But very exciting times. I do like him as a pick, but the thing that is forcing me to put him in my team is the FOMO. I would consider going out without him if not, but unfortunately he's got to be nailed. Like, what's his ownership now? I don't suppose you've seen recently.
I think it's over like 60%.
He's basically, you have to pick him, because if he goes nuclear, good opening fixtures as well after Crystal Palace anyway, you're going to be so mudded if you're without him.
And his price will start to run. I think, maybe with with that many
True.
people owning him, how many people can bring him in? So maybe
That's
the high
true.
ownership protects his price.
Yeah, I mean, if he fails, he could be 7.5 by Christmas.
Yeah, absolutely. So, and it's one of those where people are going to love him, and Arsenal fans will have the bias and hang on to him, but he could cripple your team if he doesn't bang. But I like him, and the point I love that you said is how he's going to make the players around him better as that focal point and really stretching that. Like, Arsenal have lacked a really good forward for some years, I feel. Aubameyang went off the boil for a while, then Lacazette hasn't really done it, in my opinion. He had his moments, but I think Gabriel Jesus coming in, you know who I'm really excited for, and he isn't in your team, and I understand why people aren't picking him so much, because Martinelli's 6 million, Saka's 8. Odegaard, I think Odegaard is going to be amazing this year. That's a prediction of mine. I just think
What is in FPL?
In FPL, I don't know, right? In FPL, he will get loads of assists, I think. I think in FPL, he's going to get a ton of assists. He doesn't have enough goal threat for me, really. But like, just in general, as an Arsenal fan, for you, I think like he'll just be such a joy to watch. I think it's going to be beautiful football Arsenal play this year. So I can't wait to watch some of their games, especially on opening night.
Right.
Yeah.
I hope you're right.
The big question, it's Kane or Haaland. Who are you going for?
It's one of them. Well, I mean...
No, I imagine you were like, oh, I'm going for Ivan Toney and keeping 4.5 in the bank. You just want to be agile in the early weeks.
Stay flexible, guys. I've gone for Sam Greenwood in the final slot, and we're going to choose a premium based on our first few game weeks form.
We're going for the yoga approach.
Yeah. No, we're going to go for Harry Kane in the final slot.
Harry Kane, again, I love it. I love it because that's who I'm going for. I love it.
Yeah, good man. It's anti-effective ownership. It's like people are picking Haaland because he is more exciting coming into the Premier League, playing in this Man City side. But in FPL terms, everyone owns Haaland. No one owns Kane. Like, I don't know what his ownership's at now, but I imagine it's around 20%.
It was like 60 to 20. It was like a 3-to-1 ratio.
Yeah. So yeah, a huge differential of the player who, I'm sure you've heard this all before. In fact, I think someone, maybe someone else, was it Bakar maybe, said about the fact that he just tops every stat, attacking metric over the second half of last season since Conte took over. Better than Salah, better than Son, better than De Bruyne by a significant amount, better than De Bruyne, because De Bruyne is an absolute overperforming freak. But yeah, the data suggests that Kane is the best FPL asset in the game, even better than Salah, based on the second half of last season. So who am I to go against that?
That's it. Like, I do think they're both going to be amazing, but I think if you have to pick one, the safer bet is Kane. Haaland, there's a million things we could go into here. Preseason minutes, expected to be rotated a bit more, new league, drop-offs, all these things. But ultimately, for me, I'm trying to get a hashtag going. I say I'm trying. I'm trying as of right this second. Magpie sheep, that's what I'm going to call Haaland owners, because you want the new shiny thing and you're sticking with the crowd, so you're a magpie sheep. That's what I'm going to go with. I'm expecting hate, but yeah.
Oh, yeah.
No, it's only like 3/4 of the people in the game are going with Haaland, and I'm here calling them out. But no, I do actually. I really like both. I really do like both. I'm just going for the Kane route.
I think it's important that you recognise that both of these players are fantastic FPL options. But when you're looking for that edge, and you think one player is slightly better, I do believe Kane is that man. But I mean, I've been going very hard on the anti-Haaland agenda. The latest part of my agenda is that apparently Haaland signed for Man City because he knows that he does have some injury problems and he wants to be rotated.
So I read this. Whereas in Spain, he thought he would be playing 90 minutes every week. More pressure and more of a commercial asset.
That's it.
I have a load of reasons why I'm kind of anti-Haaland, but again, I don't think there's going to be too much ground won or lost in these positions, but one of them will ultimately be better, and I'm backing that to be Kane. Dan, we'll have to generate your team rate and see how you get on and slap you on a table. Are you excited? I'm going to give you okay.
I know what the 100%, I know how to make 100% team. I know exactly what the team is to get an 100% team rating, because I made a video on it 2 days ago.
If you did it.
I came in thinking, shall I cheese this and just say the 100% rating just so I can destroy all of the competition? But then I thought, no, I'll get found out, and
yeah. People connecting dots. Wait there a second. 2 days ago on his channel, he made this team. It's weird. Why did he pick Kyle Walker?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Danny Welbeck was the surprising one in that team.
Yeah. Danny Welbeck. I've seen that team. So look, at the minute, at the top of the table with Big Man Bakar 97%. The bottom of the table with Zach Jellab on 88. So you're going to come somewhere in the middle with 11 names. You're the 12th. What position do you think you'd be happy with?
Honestly, this is a quite quite a speculative team, which is what I like to do.
Yeah.
I don't think it's very data optimized. It is partially, but not as much as perhaps some of our other friends in the community. So, I mean, I will take a mid-table, but I'm not expecting it.
Okay, mid-table. So let's hope you get about 6th. Let's see what happens. We'll
I
click
hope
the
so.
ball.
I can't see that happening, though.
So 91% team rating, which takes the first 5 game weeks into account. Your game week rating for the first game week's just 86 and predicted points is 66.3. So 91% your rating. How does that make you feel?
I mean, that's probably about what I hoped for. I feel like, I know this is quite controversial, but I feel like if you creep too close to, 100%, it might be because perhaps gone a bit too template, maybe. So if you were down at like 80%, then obviously something has gone tragically wrong. I think if you're at 90% plus, you could probably have a little bit of confidence.
This score would drop you in at 9th position. You're ahead of Kieran, Carlin, Zach, and Rambo, and you're just behind Reeve and Heisenberg. A lot of people come in at 92, 93, so you're just 1% off. But I love the team. Fair play to you.
Yeah, I came into this video knowing that I probably would not be placed too highly, but it's been a bit of fun.
Dan, thanks a million. People can find you at FPL Mate. You're putting out lots of great content pre-season. Let's see if you can do another 253 in the world next year. So best of luck with it. And everyone on the channel, if you want to go and plug in your team rating, obviously you can see your Game Week 1 rating as well now. Head over to the link in the description. It'll bring you to Fantasy Football Hub. You can go over to the toolbox, give it a crack yourself, and don't forget there's 50% off at the minute if you do decide to sign up.